Welcome to this revision video on adding fractions. This is for level 2 maths. So what you have to be able to do in your exam on your non-calculator is to be able to add fractions with different denominators. So the things to remember are when you're adding or subtracting fractions, the denominator, it must be the same. If they're not the same, then it doesn't work. So what you can't do is something like this. You can't say, well, I'll just add those numbers. That doesn't give you the right answer. So, we can't do that. We have to make these bottom numbers the same. I'm going to start off with a fraction where the denominators are the same. So if they're the same, then in my final answer, where the denominators are both 8, so will be the answer. It will be 8. And then we just add the top numbers. So 1 add 3 is 4. That gives us 4/8. If we simplify that, and always simplifying these questions, that actually goes down to a half. They're both divisible by 4. Unfortunately, you're not really going to get questions like that, but it's just important to note that if they are the same, they stay the same. You're more likely to get one like this, where you've got different denominators. Now I'm going to use the butterfly method to revise this. So we're going to draw some butterfly wings. This is where you multiply. We're not adding yet, we're actually going to multiply opposite and diagonal numbers. So let's start with, I'm going to draw the wings of a butterfly across diagonal and opposite. And I'm going to draw the little antenna. There we go. So 1 times 5, not adding, but actually doing a multiplication. So 1 times 5 is 5. Now I'm going to draw the opposite wings. There we go. And 2 times 10 is 20. If a butterfly's got wings, it's got to have a body. So I'm going to draw a little body here. And now I've got to deal with what's going to happen with the denominator. So 5 times 10, not adding, but we're going to times them. So 5 times 10 is 50. Now I can go ahead and make up my answer. So this is the time where we add. So 20 add 5 is 25. And our denominator we did before, so it's 50. You must always simplify. So looking at this, if each of the number ends in either 5 or 0, it's divisible by 5. So 25 divided by 5 is actually 5, and 50 divided by 5 is 10. Well, 5/10 is also the same as a half, but you can still divide by 5 again. Okay. So just to recap, draw the wings diagonally opposite and multiply on each side, draw a body and multiply, and then we can start making up the final answer, which was a half. Let's try another one. So 1/6 plus 3/5. I'm going to draw a pair of wings. I'm going to multiply 3 times 6 is 18. Draw another pair of wings. 1 times 5 is 5. Now we'll need a body. 6 times 5 is 30. And now I'm going to make up my fraction. So let's start with the top. Now we get to add. So 18 add 5 is 23. And then we've got 30 at the bottom. Always check whether you can simplify. In this case you can't, because 23 only divides by itself, which is 23, or the number 1. And although I could divide 23 by 23 to get 1, I can't divide 30 by 23. So that is the final answer in this case. Let's try one more. Example 3, solve and show as a mixed number. So a mixed number is where you have something like, if you're describing time, that'll be ready in 1.5 hours. So you have a large number, a whole number followed by a fraction. Okay. So we'll just get rid of that. But let's start off by solving it as normal, going for purple this time. So let's draw some wings. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 4 is 8. Do the body. 3 times 4 is 12. My bottom number is going to be 12 then. And now I can add the top. 8 plus 9 is 17. So at the moment we have an improper fraction because the number on top is bigger than the one underneath, but we need to change it into a mixed number. So imagine that you have a cake and you split it into 12 equal pieces. If nobody eats any of that cake, as a fraction you would have 12 out of 12 still on the plate, and that equals 1 whole cake. Well, if you look at our fraction, we can make up a whole number because we have over 12. So if I took those 12 pieces away from the number 17, we would have 5 left over. So what we have is 1 whole cake with another 5 extra pieces of another cake still left over. So as a mixed number, the answer is 1 and 5/12. This kind of question is often a multiple choice as well. So just to summarise, butterfly method: multiply numbers which are diagonal and opposite to each other, then multiply denominators, but no, if they're the same you would leave them as they are, but that's unlikely in your level 2 exam. Then you add the numerators on top and you just simplify overall, and that's the end.